Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
What is up, Titans Nation? Welcome in to the 615. It's your host, Lee Hillis. And yes, this is a very, very hard show. Titans go to Buffalo and lose 34-10.
Oh, Tyler's going in tonight.
Yeah. And Tyler, yeah, you just heard him. He said he's going in tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put him in, Coach. Put him in.
Hey, family meeting. We're going to have a come to Jesus meeting tonight. Absolutely. So it's gonna
after we run through these stats.
Absolutely. We're going to do that, and then Tyler will have his moment. But absolutely. Lee, keep it rolling.
But we have to say, first off, welcome in to the SeatGeek Studios, because we are powered by SeatGeek, and you can use our code 615podcast, 615 PODCAST at checkout for $20 off your first order of $50 or more on SeatGeek.com or on the SeatGeek app. And there. So I think we should start off press conference from today.
Yeah, let's run through the video for sure.
Because Brian Callahan talked Will Levis, and he also talked about, I think, about what we're talking about tonight pretty much. So
yeah,
let's start off with, we're going to go Brian Callahan, then we have Kenneth Murray, and then Nick Vanette.
All right, let's roll it.
It's all of that. You know, I wouldn't say necessarily off script is the word, but you know, we've gotten teams have played us a little bit differently than what we see going in because of our reliance and leaning on the run game. So we get a lot more heavy run pressures, heavier boxes, different coverage structures than some other teams because of our sort of run centric approach, and tried to keep them off balance quite a bit with a bunch of the play action yesterday. Some of it was good, some of it we didn't hit on, but you know, that's just sort of how it ends up working. Is they're trying to take away what we do well, which is run the football, and they've done it. You know, they had every defender down near line of scrimmage quite a bit, and we tried to action off of it and take some shots off it. So yeah, there's some things that we have to do better, I think, all the way around, managing those things from a schematic standpoint, and then from a player standpoint, adjusting to what looks have been given. You know, everything about what we were hoping to get out of the season was a really solid and concrete evaluation of Will as a starting quarterback. You know, the injury process, you know, we haven't played well enough anywhere around him. He certainly hasn't played up to what I think he's capable of playing. And so we're not in a great spot record-wise. And the injury doesn't help. And hopefully that the minute he's back healthy, the intent is for him to continue to play. And hopefully that's sooner rather than later, because I'd like to continue to have him playing football. But I'm not going to let him go out there if he's not where he needs to be to go perform. And so, again, hopefully in maybe this week, maybe next week, but sooner than later, you know, he'll be back playing.
So what did you take away from what Brian Callahan just said in the two videos?
Well, do you want me to go ahead and
go in?
I don't think I can do that just yet. But I will. I'll give you a short version of what I'm going to say. Me and Lee are tonight, and I'm going to go in pretty hard on it. I'm sick of hearing about the players of the Titans. At this point, it's coaching, and I hear him saying all of that. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think this is a player personnel injury issue, anything. I think it comes down to play calling. But if you want to keep the videos rolling, and then after we get through these and run through the stats, I'll kind of wrap everything up in a bow after we get through those couple things.
And then next we have Kenneth Murray talking about this team from his perspective. And I think a lot of Titans fans need to hear this.
I think for me, it's just all about just having a standard of how you do things. Because at the end of the day, life is going to be life. Things are going to happen in life. But regardless, the storms come, and they never can last forever. And I think that's kind of the mentality I take to it. I just try to hone in onto like my mentality, and just attacking adversity every day. Trying to come in with a purpose, and trying to live up to that standard regardless of what the circumstance is. That's kind of how I try to live my life, because at the end of the day, like I said, things in life happen, but it's all about how you respond to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the last one is Nick Vanette talking about the leadership of the locker room.
I mean, I'm not going to single anybody out, but it's a collective group. I'd say it's just like for me, like I focus on the tight ends. I start with us. There's a lot of guys in the O-line room that a lot of leadership in that room as well. I'm not going to single anybody out and say who's a leader, because I think there's a lot of guys that lead in their own ways. But I just think we got to be more vocal about it. That's all.
Why not? I mean, should the main leader of the offense be on?
I mean, you don't always have to be. You don't have to be, obvious to be a leader. You can lead by example. You can be a vocal guy. It just leadership looks different in different ways. And some guys are vocal. Some guys rather just keep their mouth shut and do the work. But either way, we just got to enhance that. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay, so I'll piggyback off of that. So that one right there, out of all three clips, that was one of the hardest ones for me to watch. And the reason why is because me and Lee were on the phone last night. Well, AKA probably maybe this morning, maybe about 1 o'clock in the morning or so. But we were talking about everything, and I think the locker room is lost. From the interviews I've seen, even Big Jeff's interview, I know we don't have that one, but the demeanor of it, I think the locker room is lost. And right now, I think when we go out there every week, we don't look like an NFL team, Lee. And I think
we do
not. And this is the same thing that we've said in when we've had bad years. This is what we don't look like your normal NFL team. I mean, I'm jealous as anything, because my girls' team is the Packers, and I'll tell you right now, they just beat the Texans, which I was like super pumped about that, by the way. But
because we hate the Texans.
Guess what? Yeah, we hate the Texans, and Jordan Love did his thing for the Packers out there, and they look like an NFL team. They can do that. I mean, even teams in the NFL right now with losing records, even certain teams with losing records still look like an NFL team. We are out here. I don't think it sounds like from what Vanette was just saying, it sounds like this team has no, like, if you ask who the leader is, internal leadership. And he said he's not going to point fingers, but Tyler is going to point fingers tonight. Everybody wants to talk about the players, but at the end of the day, our coaching is awful. It's absolutely awful. And honestly, it's painful to watch. Lee called me. He caught the last end of the game. He rewatched it last night while I was on the phone with him. He caught up completely. I watched it, when it was live, and like we kind of reconvened last night talking about everything. And me and Lee, for the first time, normally me and Lee are super, super positive. But at the end of the day, to be honest, actually, Lee, I'm going to say the words that you said. I'm already looking at the season as a wash.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but don't be surprised if we have a different. Don't be surprised if Denard Wilson is not our head coach next year. That is what I'm saying.
I was just going to say that. I'm like,
yeah.
I was going to say, don't be surprised if we have a new coach next season.
Yeah, and so I want Lee to go ahead and like say his 2 cents too. But yeah,
while Tyler and I, we were on the phone last night.
Yeah,
and we got to talking about the draft already. And I think the mock draft was pretty consistent between you and I. And I know it's way too early to be talking
Yeah.
draft,
Yeah.
but it's a position that we truly need to look at now
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
because
I mean,
we talked about
and I'm there with you. I'm
we
there with
talked
you
about
100%.
we talked about NPF yesterday. The dude is a freaking dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I say, forbid I say this and he comes out and freaking shows out next week. But NPF
He
is
ain't
just a
gonna, dude.
is
He's
just a
bad.
freaking is just a poor man's Dennis Daly and Andre Dillard.
Dylan. Honestly, man, and that's what, to all our listeners out there right now, just know me and Lee try week in and week out to be
As
and
positive as we can be.
as positive as we can be. We are always going to be a Titans podcast, but we also want to bring y'all realistic, real content and not get lost in the Homer like
yeah.
like you know what I mean.
Mentality.
But yeah, this
I
week
I want to go ahead and mention this.
You go ahead, Lee.
I want to go ahead and mention this about the pod. We have officially hit 1,000 streams.
Oh, is that just now?
On the podcast, and that's including the last one we put out on last week on Thursday.
That's awesome, man. That brings a smile to my face right there. That's super cool, man. Once again, hold on, let me just interrupt for 1 second. Once again, I want everybody to know that the man to my left right here, Lee, puts his heart and soul into this podcast. So we want to thank all of you. Literally, we want to thank all the listeners because I wouldn't be here on this pod if it wasn't for him.
None of this would have been going on still.
Yeah.
But just to take a freaking quick run through this mock draft, should we just take a quick?
Yeah. No, that's cool. I'm cool with that. Yeah, absolutely. Me and you, and this was me and Lee last night.
At like 2 a.m.
Yeah, we did do that. But yeah, absolutely. Hey, we had some things to talk about.
But so I traded our second this year, second next year, and third next year. So the 25 second, 26 second, and third.
I'm gonna pull this up while you're reading it because I know.
To trade back in to the first round with Seattle at 14. So we used NFL mock draft database, and they have us picking at 6. So at 6, we went Kelvin Banks, tackle out of Texas. The dude is a freaking stud.
Yeah.
Could he shore up that right side? Maybe. Could he be the perfect addition opposite of J.C. Latham? Maybe. I'm surprised this kid right here fell it to 14, and it's Cam Ward out of Miami.
And I think right there, I mean, that is what I think needs to happen. Let's just, Lee, real quick before you start going, and this is going to piss some people off, and that's fine. But Lee, I guess, and I don't mean to speak for you, but I feel like you're comfortable with saying it. Me and Lee are not big on Shador.
No. If you look at Shador,
yeah.
If you look at Shador, he's got this arrogant, cocky attitude. And if you're winning, okay. I'm okay with the cocky and confident / confident attitude.
Absolutely.
But you're on a team that hasn't had a winning year in almost a decade. In a decade plus, in almost 2 decades. But he seems like that OBJ locker room cancer, like, oh, this whole team, it's all about me.
And with the way this season is going, Lee, to be honest,
we don't need that next year.
From the footage that we've seen, and honestly, personally, if it keeps going like it is, I don't think Callahan is there next year. But to just piggyback off what you said, this incoming next year, it's honestly like the worst time for us to actually have a locker room cancer, because this locker room that we have right now, I'm telling
It's
you,
already dead.
it's lost. Everybody's trying to do the NFL professional interviews as professional as they are. I will give them that. But
Calvin Ridley.
but that Vanette interview, D-Hop, even after he gave Callahan the rolling eyes, that's the meme now, like whatever. But I'm telling you, that Vanette interview, and that's why I wanted to wait till after that one.
Said it all.
Said it all without saying it. It said it all without saying it. You can speak a lot with body language and tone more so than you can with words, and that's for anything in life.
And
but
then
for sure in this,
if you're drafting a young quarterback, you want to build around him.
Yeah,
you want to go get those weapons. So we didn't have a second, we didn't have a third, so we didn't pick again till the 4th round. We took Deion Burks, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. Now, to mention this, that Kelvin Banks pick at 6 was a B+ grade. Cam Ward was an A+ grade. Deion Burks, wide receiver out of Oklahoma, at 106 was an A+ grade. 144, we went Jaden Roberts, interior offensive lineman out of Alabama. And then Cam Ward's favorite targets, Xavier Restrepo. The dude is a dog. Yeah, he's small, but he's lethal. We got him at 181. And then
I looked up his stats, and they look pretty. I mean, I told Lee, I was like, damn, like I was all for the pick when me and him were doing it. When me and him were
and then at 239, we finally went defense. I went Debo Williams, linebacker out of South Carolina, with the final pick. So, and of course, Tyler and I, like, we went back and forth. Like, I had him looking up players last night while this was going down.
Yeah. So, like, he was doing it, and then I was over here doing like
the research on him, and
exactly,
but
like the research and stuff.
I feel like, but we've ran on long enough. It's time to go ahead and get into these stats between the Titans and the Bills. And number 0 ran rampant on us yesterday.
Yeah.
Your boy, Keon Coleman.
Yeah. FSU. Yep.
But Josh Allen had a decent day. 21 of 33, 323 and 2 touchdowns. The number I want to look at right there is the average yard per pass. 9.8.
Hey, right there, I want to just like interject there for a second, bud, and say this did show how much Snead is a he did not play. We didn't mention that earlier, but Snead, I mean, everybody knows, but Snead didn't play. And I think that had especially with Cole, I think that had a huge indication, because not only does Snead cover, but Snead also tackles, and he's a rough, tough, like he's a go-getter. Like he was missed yesterday. And I know he, honestly, like, dropped the ball in the last game, but at the same time, if he was out there,
that wouldn't have happened.
No. Do I think we would have won?
No.
I don't know.
No, but I don't think so.
But it would have been
closer.
We would have at least scored more than 10 points that we scored in the first half, and then 34 unanswered. But yeah.
And then Ray Davis, the rookie out of Kentucky.
By the way, I want everybody to know Lee said that he was gonna be an issue for us, and obviously he was. So
5 carries, 41 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Average of 8.2 with a long of 22. And then your boy James Cook did nothing really. Averaged 2.7 a carry. Did he have a touchdown? Yes.
Yeah.
There
it is. There's my boy right there.
Your boy Keon Coleman, 4 catches, 125 yards, averaging 31.3 yards per play.
Yeah.
The guy out of Middle Tennessee, Dawson Knox, 1 catch, 5 yards.
Brentwood Academy. Yep.
Dalton Kincaid, 3 for 52. Khalil Shakur out of where's he from? Florida or no, Boise State.
I was about to say, I thought it was, yeah.
7 for 65. He caught everything that was thrown at him. He had 7 targets on the day, caught all 7. The new addition there in Buffalo, Amari Cooper, had himself a day. 4 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Ty Johnson, 1 catch, 4 yards, and a touchdown. And then we have to go full screen on this because this is tiny.
Yeah.
The guy that I said would win Defensive Rookie of the Year, DeMar Hamlin, or Comeback Player of the Year, DeMar Hamlin, had an interception yesterday. Their kick returner, I said this is one thing we needed to limit. We did not limit that. 1 return for 27. He also returned 5 punts for 56. Their kicker was perfect. Had 4 extra points, nailed all 4. Had 2 field goals, nailed both of them. Hunter had 5 punts for 197, 1 touchback, 1 inside the 20. But let's go ahead and dive into Titans while we're full screen. There he is, Mason Rudolph. 25 for 40, 215, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Actually, Lee, before we move on, I'm going to pull it up. Hold on. Let me pull it up right now. Or you're good. No, you can keep like going through stuff, but I do want to, I know we don't have it in here, but I'm actually pulling up our messages right now.
The first half stats.
Yeah, I'm going to I have them, and I know this kind of puts a
wrench in the plan.
A wrench in the plan, but just give me just a second. You can keep talking. You're good. I'm going to find it. I know it's sorry. You're good. You're good. Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
TP20, Tony Pollard, 16 for 61. Julius Chestnut, 3 for 15. Mason Rudolph, 5 for 13.
Okay, and I got it, Lee. Let's go through this right here. And I was talking to Lee about this yesterday. This is one of the issues that we have that are huge with the Titans right now. These right here that I have pulled up on my phone are the first half QB comparisons. Mason Rudolph, 18 for 23, 155 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 turnover, which we all know was the fumble, but whatever, we went up 10-7. Josh Allen, this is first half stats. 4 for 11, 65 yards and nothing. And Josh Allen at that time was 0 for 4 on third downs. So once again, Lee, as we're going through these stats, I want to go ahead and bring up, and we can get into why can't the Titans put together 4 quarters? We've gone into more than one game this year, leading at half, feeling good. And then we just come, S the bed basically when we come back out. So
fall flat.
We fall flat. Exactly.
And you also made the statement, had Pollard and Chestnut gotten hurt?
Oh, yeah. Talk about coaching
decisions.
Trouble. Yeah, talk about the coaching decision. So everybody that watched the game, thank you for bringing that up because I almost forgot about that, Lee. Everybody that watched the game yesterday knows that the hit that was laid on Pollard, he went into concussion protocol. We had to bring in Chestnut for a little bit, which Chestnut did have that 8-yard run. It was a pretty decent, run or whatever. But at the same time, if Chestnut would have got hurt yesterday, we would not have had a running back in the game. Now, I know people are like, well, we had to throw anyway. But I'm just saying, if let's say we would have kept that first half momentum up, and if Pollard gets hurt and Julius Chestnut gets hurt, we have no running back, which we throw a lot to our running backs. So that would have been a problem. And the issue that I have with it is before the game, we were all told that, actually heard it from Rand's mouth on 104.5. He literally did say that we would see Josh Kelly get some action this week,
yep.
As in we were going to bring him up. That was straight. That was straight from
the horse's mouth.
Yeah, that was straight from Rand's mouth, literally like right before the game. And then come to find out they didn't dress Levis. I didn't understand the decision really. I also don't know how far, and I should have done more research on it, but I'm not sure how far that Snead that they knew he was going to be out. But it sounds like it may have been kind of more towards a game time decision. Do you know? I mean, Lee, I don't know if I'm wrong with that, but
I have no idea.
yeah, but at the same time, I'm thinking of just front office coaching positions, and I know we all like have a soft spot for it and we love her, but I'll even bring up like I think at this point, like I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but at some point we got to start looking at the ownership too, and we can't keep harping on all these players out here because this is the first year that I will say these type of things because our roster, talent wise, player for player, is better than a lot of teams in the NFL, even better than teams in the NFL that have, and Lee, I think you'll agree, that have winning records.
Yeah.
So
100%.
so like you can say players all day, but then again, look at the talent and look at their resumes with the players. Like, and at the same time, at some point, I think Titans fans, we have to actually start going towards front office. Even I'm even going that far. Front office, ownership, management, and then obviously coaching. Something's off. Callahan is supposed to be the QB guru and the offensive guru. Our play calling looks like booty cheeks as
high school. It looks like high school.
Yeah, it looks like high school. We're running like pitches and stuff. I mean, I feel like we're running a wing tee in high school. It's like I don't understand what we're doing. And then you've got his dad, which is supposed to be the
offensive line guru,
like guru of the NFL, and our offensive line is well, our right side of our offensive line is absolutely dog water right now. So what are we gonna do?
There was a quote from Callie today about Radens that says Radens has solidified the right guard spot.
Yeah.
But let's go back over because this is where we really wanted to hit is this right here.
Oh, yeah. We did want to bring this up.
So if you look at this, if you look at the three tight ends, Chigakonkwo, Josh Wiley, and Nick Vanette, they all combined, all three of them had a total of 12 targets.
11 receptions, right?
And 11 receptions on 12 targets. Mason
loves his tight ends. You know who else loved his tight ends? Ryan Tannehill.
I swear I was not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But Tyler Boyd, 5 catches, 43. He caught everything that's on his weight. This is the guy that I'm concerned about because we just paid this man $92 million over 4 years. And it's Calvin Ridley. They threw at him 9 times. He caught 3, had 42 yards. But you also mentioned that he had 2 terrible drops.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And they were both, I think, in the fourth. I think they were both in the fourth quarter, actually, almost back to back, if I remember correctly.
And then, Josh Wiley, 3 for 34. Nick Vanette, 4 for 25. NWI, 2 for 10. Chestnut, 1 for 9. Pollard, 2 for 4. Hopford, 1 for -2. But the guy who led the way, Chigakonkwo.
Yeah.
4 catches, 50 yards. But NWI had the lone touchdown of the day for the Titans.
Yeah.
And then fumbles. The McFumbles are back. The McFumbles are back.
Okay, but like I said before we started this, remember the 2 of those quote unquote fumbles were literally in the fourth quarter, and I hate to say it, they were back to back right before the game ended.
Yes.
So I know it says 3, but really let's kind of only say 1. But I get what you're saying. But still, that's a problem with I don't know what's going on. The team is just a
Well,
freaking nightmare, to
one
be
of the
honest.
fumbles was on the quarterback center, exchange between the center and quarterback
Exactly.
early in the game. I'm like, what is going on? How is this happening? You work on that day in and day out in practice.
Exactly.
And then kick return, Jaquan Jackson 2 for 55 on kick return, punt return 2 for 8. Nick Folk on field goal 1 for 1, and on extra point 1 for 1. Ryan Stonehouse, the MVP of this team, 5 punts for 266 yards, averaging 53.2, no touchbacks and nothing inside the 20.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I've kind of sounded off on some of these, but we should go ahead and get into it.
Good, bad, and ugly presented by SeatGeek. You know, there's things that this team does good, and we both said the first half, the lead at the half, and the offense in the first half. Tyler just gave the stats on Mason Rudolph versus Josh Allen at the half.
Yeah.
Bad, the Titans have fallen apart. You have a 10-point lead, and
Yeah.
then you give up 34 unanswered. You're like, what is going on? You're supposed to have the number one defense, and the number one defense doesn't
Actually,
allow 34 points.
no.
And then ugly, this is where we're going to get somewhat down and dirty.
Which I kind of already have, but we'll keep going with it. Lee, I'm going to let you sound off first
So
because we got to be realistic.
I'm going to play off something that you said, Tyler.
Yeah, for
Don't
sure.
be
Absolutely.
surprised. Don't be surprised
No.
if we start having that revolving door of head coaches.
Yeah. And I hate to even say it.
Don't be surprised if we're like the Houston Texans that had a coach for a year, fired him, had another coach for another year, and then fired him. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we turn into freaking the Carolina Panthers, where they had Frank Reich for 1 year and then fired him.
That's scary. But
because those two teams have been synonymous with losing for a while.
yeah.
And if you look back, just what 3-4 seasons ago, we were winning the freaking division in back-to-back seasons, and now we're barely winning games.
We won the conference, dude.
No, we made it to the conference championship.
No, dude, we won the conference when we lost to Baltimore. You don't remember that? Because the Bengals ended up beating the Chiefs the last week and put us into first.
Yeah.
We were first over the Chiefs that year that we lost to Baltimore at home.
We clinched the number one, but if you think about it, like we were winning division titles, we were having number one seeds, we were making the playoffs.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
We're on the verge. Actually, we're going to say it. We have now missed the playoffs for 3 consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
And the question is, how have the Titans fallen so far from winning division titles, contending for the AFC Championship? How have we fallen so far to only have one win at basically the end of October?
And you know, Lee, I think, you know,
we have battered Titans fan syndrome.
Yeah, man. I mean, BTFS, man. I know, like it's it's a real thing, and like but the thing that me and you and kind of like to piggyback off like what you said, the issues that we have with all of this right now is Lee. Let's see, all summer we
And
were.
they said it on Blaine and Zach today. We have been hype, like we've been getting our hype. We've been hyping all this up. You go out and you spend money. You go out, sign Tyler Boyd, Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, Kenneth Murray. You trade for Ernest Jones. You trade for L'Jarius Sneed. You grab
Yeah.
Jacoby Awuzie.
Yeah.
And where has that gotten you?
I mean, this is what I don't this is where, like I said, I know a lot of people want to like, crap on Levis,
And
but
before we finish this, can we say a huge congrats to Mike Evans? He has now joined the 100 touchdown club.
oh, good for him.
He
Yeah, I just
he
saw
now
that.
he now has 100 receiving touchdowns on his career.
Yeah. But basically, like, with how me and Lee talked last night, like we did that, and that's honestly the conversation that me and Lee are having right now on this podcast is what brought on us doing the mock draft last night, because we finally have gotten to the point to where like
We know, hey, we're picking top 5, top 10 at best.
Yeah, but
at the worst we're picking top 3.
Yeah, so like here's where we're at this point is we've got all summer, me and Lee. I mean, in most of shout out to all the other people that do Titans podcast, TCP, Brad Steele, all of you guys, Two Tone Blue, all of y'all, like shout out. But our ceiling was so high because of the talent we had this year. So our ceiling was here. I mean, if you would have told me we would be in this position right now, Lee, I would have called you. I would have probably said, I need to put you in a straight jacket and take you down to the mental institution.
Yeah.
But guess what? That's where all of us are
Here
now.
we are.
We're in the fandom. We're in the mental institution of the Tennessee Titans.
The Titans have everybody in a chokehold.
This is what I'm going to try to tell everybody out there, and what I'm trying to get people to understand.
It's time to panic.
I understand Levis. I said it last podcast. He's played like crap. I get it, guys. But at this point, with this talent on this team and us having this top defense still, which blows my mind, it's gotten to the point, all the listeners out there, that we have to start transforming our hating Levis brains to it's front office, it's coaching.
Questioning the coaching staff.
It's coaching. I don't know why the 4th and 1 call on certain things, and we're doing direct snaps. We've got and still I don't understand when it's 2nd and 6 while we run a pitch play, because it's 2nd and 6. Don't you want to gain yards? This isn't Pee-wee football. The reason there's so many pitches in Pee-wee football is because it's little kids, and if people like spread out, well, it gives you more room to run. In the NFL, you got grown ass men out there. Sorry, Lee, but you got grown.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you got grown men out there that are some of the best athletes in the league, like in the world, in football. You can't do that stuff, and we continue to do it. We keep trying to get too cute, and I'm done with it. And I think all of our fans out there, I think we need to rally more around our frustration towards coaching more so than the players in our team, because I can guarantee you right now there's coaches and players and quarterbacks out there that would die to have the team we have and work with it, but we're not capitalizing on what we have.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that needs to be brought up, everybody is hounding on Will Levis because of his interception number.
Exactly.
Let me read you off the NFL interception leaders for this season. And some of these quarterbacks have winning records. The guy who has thrown most interceptions this season is Patrick Mahomes with 8 in 6 games, or 7 now. Jordan Love has 8 interceptions. Gardner Minshew has 8. Aaron Rodgers has 7. Will Levis has 7. Kirk Cousins has 7. And Brock Purdy has 7. So you look at that list. You're hounding on Will Levis for having 7 when guys like Aaron Rodgers has 7. Patrick Mahomes has 8. Kirk Cousins has 7. Jordan Love has 8. But yes, they have winning records. So I see where you're coming from. But pull back the reins a little bit.
It's coaching, Lee. I'm telling you,
exactly.
it's coaching.
That's why I'm putting it that way.
Yes.
It's not on Will Levis. And we said this last week. I'll say it again today. Zach Lyons, shout out to Zach, of course, from Blaine and Zach. He said this last week on the show. That Will Levis is getting not 1 call, but 2. And Callahan is making him decide. If I'm Callahan and I see that he is struggling to make that decision, I'm giving him 1 call at the 30-second mark because they cut off communication at 15 seconds. If, as the head coach, I see something, I'm like, I don't like that. At about 20 seconds, I'm giving him that new play. And then I'm telling him, say, hey, I see something I don't like. If you see it, make the change. Here's the play. I'm giving him 1 play at a time.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. You know, we kind
of or just give him 1 play and tell him if nobody's open, pull it down and run.
Absolutely. You know, we kind of alluded to that last week, and like, yeah, you're
setting him up to fail.
You just said literally, Lee, what I have been feeling and saying. I know everybody has said that we didn't want to see Levis go out there and do flips over people and truck people. I'm sorry.
I would rather see that now than us be losing.
Yeah, because guess what? That's what I'm saying. I don't know what's been going on in that quarterback room and, you know, the film room or whatever, but I don't know if there's something being said that psychologically that has messed with Levis through this year. But
I think
he said it himself. It's taken away. I know what you're going to say, and I agree. He needs to be taken away, don't try to. It's like this. Like, don't try to contain the dog. Let the dog out. And I feel like they might try to keep putting him in this box. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Who put the dog out? Who put the dog out?
Yeah, like let the dog out. Like, let him be the crazy dude that looks like he's doing cocaine on the sideline. I mean, I don't care. Like, whatever.
Let him be the crazy lunatic that we saw last year. Don't try to suppress that.
Let him go. Yes.
Let him go try to run over a 240-pound linebacker.
Exactly. It drives me
nuts.
Or
a 200-pound corner or 200-pound safety. Let him go do what he does.
And I think that's what it is, Lee. To be honest, to me, what's happened is not only did he get all of these weapons, any quarterback in the league would die to have a receiving core.
If we had any other quarterback in the league outside of Will Levis, we're probably having a different conversation right now.
Do you want to know what, Lee? I will combat that in one way. I don't know if we would, because I think it's coaching. And I think,
like, if we had a smarter quarterback,
or honestly, if we had like a Will Levis style, honestly, if we had like a Josh Allen, somebody that's similar to Will Levis.
If we had Dak Prescott.
You already know my opinion on that, but I know you're all about that. I know, but
counting, I was in the same.
I was about to say, yeah.
I was in the same place. I was in the same place as Dak Prescott over the weekend. So
yeah, Lee went to the Texas A&M Mississippi State game this past weekend. But yeah, so I
But like
just
if you look at Dak's stats on the season, he's only got 6 interceptions on the year.
yeah, but man,
And you go back to like 2-3 seasons ago, he had 36 touchdowns to 5 interceptions
that's great, but they're still not
with
in the
with like 5,000 yards.
yeah, but
Wait,
it's not the
wait,
Super Bowl.
wait, that was Jameis. That was Jameis.
I was about to say he's not in the Super Bowl, man. That's what I'm
Jameis,
saying.
Jameis in 2019,
30 for 30. I know.
and he had 5,100 passing yards.
Yeah, but
Did
what-
they have a winning record? No. That's the reason he's not there anymore.
that's what I'm saying, man. And like at the end of the day, and I
So
will.
I
Yeah.
think alluding back to the mock draft, I think we have to seriously think about trading out back into the first, even if you're giving up 3 picks over the next 2 years, and go get that piece, go get that quarterback.
Yeah,
If Callahan is not the head coach.
I also, Lee, I wanted to bring up this too because we had talked about this literally an hour before the pod when we were on here talking before we started. It's also like the big question is like, as the Titans' future right now, like, are we like? I know how all the fans feel, and even how I've felt like about the Levis decisions and Levis, but like, where are we at with him? Where are we at with our coaching staff? Because me and Lee were talking last night, and Lee made a really good point. He's saying, basically the right side of that line is still getting worse. So, like, even this year, I know everybody's like quarterback.
NPF is hot.
That's what
NPF is hot garbage.
Lee, that's what I'm saying. So I know everybody's like quarterback, but Lee made a good point. He's like,
It's coaching, it's offensive line.
Okay, the O line is where I'm getting to. Do we actually lean more there to protect the right side in this draft? Which me and Lee in future weeks, we're going to get way deeper into this stuff. But
and we're fixing to start building the big board. We're fixing to start building our draft
because we are there. Me and Lee have definitely discussed that, and that is what's going to happen.
And then after week 18, going into the playoffs, we will actually have our first mock draft coming out. Our first full mock draft come out after week 18.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But let's go ahead and go through this snap count very fast.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard played 59 snaps. Chestnut played 8. You get to the receiving core. Calvin Ridley played 53. DeAndre Hopkins played 39. Boyd 38. NWI 32. And Jaquan Jackson played 1 offensive snap. Tight ends, Terry Conquer 38. Nick Vanette played 29. Josh Wally 25. Jeffrey defensive side. Jeffrey Simmons played 39 snaps. Devondre Sweat played 38. Sebastian Joseph Day played 24. James Lynch played 16. Ollie Gay played 9. And Abdullah Anderson played 5. Then we get to the inside linebackers. Ernest Jones played 53. Kenneth Murray played 43. Harold Landry played 42. Arden Key played 32. Jalen Harold played 21. Jack Gibbons played 11. And then the secondary. Filling in for L'Jarius Sneed was Darrell Baker, who played 54 snaps. Quandre Diggs played 54. Jarvis Brownlee played 54. Amani Hooker played 54. Roger McCreary played 44. Mike Brown played 1. So you think about it, there were some holes there yesterday. There were a lot of holes there.
Yeah. There. I mean, and obviously the Trey Avery thing doesn't help.
Trey Avery just. If I was Rand Carthon, I would look at Trey Avery and say, leave the building, and never come back. Because he's like that ex-girlfriend that just won't go away. Same thing with Mason Kinsey and NWI.
Yeah.
They're like that ex-girlfriend that won't go away.
Yeah, but Mason Kinsey is one of those like ex-girlfriends that you don't want to go away. You want to just like keep her there, you know?
Keep her there forever.
Keep her there forever. You want to keep her there forever.
But to make one quick announcement, November 10th.
Yeah.
November 10th. Chargers, Titans from LA. But Tyler and I will be right here with y'all on November 10th as the Titans play the Charger. Pre-game, through the game, post-game.
Absolutely.
We'll be here through it all.
Yes.
But we need to introduce you to a little bit of this.
In the middle.
A little Mike Keith joining us
Yeah.
for that watch party.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be here, and I don't know. We might have tears. I don't know what we'll have, but we'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, we will. But man,
Absolutely.
this was not an easy one to do.
It wasn't, but you know what? It was one of our best ones because me and Lee finally really let it out to all the fans out there, and that's what I've been wanting. So I would love it.
Sunday, actually, we'll be back Thursday this week.
Do you want to go ahead and tell the fans about
the new format?
Yeah, the new format. Go ahead and run through that.
So instead of doing shows on like Monday nights, we're going to do our post game / recap on Sunday nights.
Yeah, right after the game, probably around the same time.
Probably around the same time to give us some time to get everything ready. But we'll be back Thursday night to look at the Detroit Lions, which will probably get murdered.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We've got to look into some things, see what the injury report is going to tell too. We don't honestly, apparently,
they don't have a Hutch. They don't.
Yeah, but honestly, Lee, I was thinking about this too. Apparently, from what the reports I've heard, we actually don't know if we're going to see Levis or Rudolph yet either. So we'll talk. We'll get into all of that on Thursday night.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Man, let's get ready to get out of here. TK?
Absolutely. Yep, we good.
As we always say, stay classy and tighten up.
Tighten up.
Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Tightened up. I've been scoping from the sideline, waiting for the right time to send the freshest team to scrimmage, so I'm busting y'all. Welcome to Nashville. We got this here. Don't worry about it. We got this here. Music City's over. Out here loud and clear. Don't worry about it. See, we got this here. It's a brand new dance and it's about to go live. Tighten up, Nashville. Rep the 6.